Hi children, good morning. Welcome. Welcome to today's political science class. Children, in this video, I am going to explain about what is the structure of courts in India and about what are the different branches of the legal system. What is the structure of courts in India? There are three different levels of courts in our country. There are several courts at the lower level, while there is only one at the apex level. The courts that most people interact with are what are called subordinate or district courts. These are usually at the district or tahsil level or in towns, and they hear many kinds of cases. Each state is divided into districts that are presided over by a district judge. Each state has a high court, which is the highest court of the state. At the top, the Supreme Court, that is located in New Delhi and presided over by the Chief Justice of India. The decisions made by the Supreme Court are binding on all other courts in India. High courts were first established in the three presidency cities of Kolkata, Bombay, and Madras in 1862. The High Courts of Delhi came up in 1966. Currently, there are 25 High Courts, while many states have their own High Courts. Punjab and Haryana share a common High Court at Chandigarh. And four northeastern states of Assam, Nagaland, Mizoram, and Arunachal Pradesh have a common High Court at Guwahati. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana had a common High Court at Hyderabad. Now, Andhra Pradesh and Hyderabad had a separate High Courts. Are these different levels of courts connected to each other? Yes, they are. In India, we have an integrated judicial system, meaning that the decisions made by high courts are binding on the lower courts. Another way to understand this integration is through the appellate system that exists in India. This means that a person can appeal to higher courts if they believe that the judgment passed by the lower courts is not just. Let us understand what we mean by the appellate system by tracking a case. State Delhi administration as Laxman Kumar and others 1985 from the lower courts to the Supreme Court. In February 1980, Laxman Kumar married 20 years old Sudha Gol and they lived in a flat Delhi with Laxman's brothers and their families. On 2 December 1980, Sudha died in hospital due to burns. Her family filed a case in court. When this case was heard in the trial court, four of her neighbors were called as witnesses. They stated that on the night of December 1, they had heard Sudha scream and had forced their way to Laxman's flat. There they saw Sudha standing with her sari in flames. They extinguished the fire by wrapping Sudha in ghani bag and a blanket. Sudha told them that her mother-in-law Shakuntala had poured kerosene oil on her and that her husband Laxman had lit the fire. During the trial, members of Sudha's family and neighbors stated that Sudha had been subjected to torture by her mother-in-law and that they were demanding more cash, a scooter and a fridge on the birth of the first child. As part of their defense, Laxman and his mother stated that Sudha's sari had accidentally catch fire while she was heating milk. On the basis of this and other evidence, the trial court convicted Laxman, his mother Shakuntala, and his brother-in-law Subhash Chandra and sentenced all three of them to death. In November 1983, the three accused went to the High Court to appeal against this verdict of the trial court. The High Court, after hearing the arguments of all the lawyers, decided that Sudha had died due to an accidental fire caused by the kerosene stove. Laxman, Shakuntala, and Subhash Chandra were acquitted. In 1985, the Supreme Court heard this appeal against acquittal of Lexman and the two members of his family. The Supreme Court heard the arguments of the lawyers and reached a decision that was different from that of the High Court. They found Lexman and his mothers guilty but acquitted the brother-in-law Subhash because they did not have enough evidence against him. The Supreme Court decided to send the accused to prison for life. What are the different branches of the legal system? The above case of the dowry death falls within what is considered a crime against society and is a violation of criminal law. In addition to criminal law, the legal system also deals with the civil law cases. You will read in chapter 4 of how a new civil law was passed in 2006 to protect women against domestic violence. Look at the following table to understand some of the significant difference between criminal law and civil law. Criminal law. Criminal law deals with conduct or act that the law defines as offenses. For example, theft, harassing a woman to bring more dowry, murder. It is usually begins with the loading of an first information report, FIR, with the police who investigate the crime, after which a case is filed in the court. If found guilty, the accused can be sent to jail and also fined. Civil law. Civil law deals with any harm or injury to rights of individuals. For example, disputes relating to sale of a land, purchase of goods, rent matters, divorce cases. In civil case, a petition has to be filed before the relevant court by the affected party only. In a rent matter, either the landlord or a tenant can file a case. The courts gives the specific relief asked for. For instance, in a case between a landlord and a tenant, the court can order the flat to be vacated and pending rent to be paid. Okay children, I'm going to wind up this video. Now you have to read this portion many times and underline important points in your textbook. Thank you. Thank you to listening my class.